There's a viral video, which went viral, I think, yesterday, millions of views, showing a man in a bagel shop, I think in New York, I'm not sure where, probably New York, having a complete meltdown. There's no context provided, the video cuts on, and he's screaming at pretty much everyone in the establishment, customers, employees, and he screams at some women in the store at one point and starts talking about all the women on dating sites who make fun of him and reject him. And then he yells at some guys who are standing there. One of the guys proceeds to essentially tackle the guy, knock him on his butt. And then I think after that, in a second video, he's screaming at the employees. He's still talking about women on the dating sites who reject him. And the guy's very short, which is important context to understand the video. He's a very short, looks like he's, I don't know, 5'2" or something. He's a very short guy, very short for a grown man. And he says that women on the dating sites make fun of him for being short. And anyway, he's having a total meltdown, breakdown, acting like a jerk to everybody in the store. Well, this was secretly filmed, of course, and put online. And now the guy has been humiliated across the country, along with being humiliated at the store when he was humiliating himself. Millions of people now have taken part in the public shaming, and many have left comments adding additional scorn and mockery and talking about how short he is and everything else. Now, first of all, obviously his behavior is unacceptable. If you saw the video, you know, I mean, it's unacceptable behavior, wrong, atrocious behavior. He deserved to get his butt kicked in the moment, I believe. He had that coming. Nothing can justify the way he was acting. And if you start mouthing off to the wrong person in public, you might get knocked on your butt. And I'm an advocate of that. I'm fine with that. I mean, I think that's the way it should work in society. There's just, you know, sometimes it's like if you can't go around just screaming at anyone, acting like a jerk to anyone you want. If you choose the wrong person, he's going to knock you on your butt. All right. But did this incident really need to be broadcast to the entire world? Did his mental breakdown need to become an episode of reality TV for us all to watch and gawk at? Was the butt kicking in the moment enough, or did he really need massive public shaming on top of it? Is the public shaming proportionate to the infraction? When I watched this video, honestly, my first reaction was I felt bad for the guy. And I'm not saying that this is because I'm so compassionate and I'm so much better than you. If you watched it and laughed, look, I've watched videos like that plenty of times in the past and probably laughed and even shared it myself and taken part in the gawking festival. But I'm trying to get away from that. I think we should all try to get away from that. And when it came to this video, my first reaction was I just felt bad for the guy. Even though there's no excuse for his behavior, even though he was acting like a jerk, it seemed obvious to me that this is a lonely, sad, broken man. For him to be shouting about being rejected on dating sites, that may seem funny to us, but it seems clear that, yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's, I mean, in his, I don't know, 40s or 50s, still alone, probably has been rejected by women his whole life because he's very short. It is difficult for guys who are really short sometimes to find, to find a woman. Women, a lot of times, don't want to be with a guy that's a lot shorter than them. So, is it really funny? I mean, should we be laughing at that? Should we be laughing at broken, troubled people? What does that say about us? If you say, oh yeah, it's hilarious. Well, what does that say about you though? Do you think it says anything good about you? It's not funny to me. I don't really think that's funny. This is real life. This is a real troubled person having a meltdown, living a life that clearly is filled with misery and despair for them and confusion. I don't know. I guess I just don't see the humor, honestly, in it. What if we find out one of these days that one of these people who had their meltdown filmed for our amusement then proceeded to kill themselves? Is it far-fetched to think that could happen and maybe has happened? Not at all. I mean, is someone who's already troubled, already feeling, persecuted, whether rightly or wrongly, and then you add on top of that the scorn and mockery of millions of people, literally. Now, if you've never experienced scorn and mockery from millions of people, even if it is just on the internet, that doesn't matter. These are still people that are saying this about you. If you've never experienced that level of mockery and scorn, maybe it's hard to understand, but it's a very overwhelming thing, even for a mentally stable person. But if you're unstable, if you're having an episode of some kind, and then you add on top of it, I mean, it's not hard to see how someone could be driven to suicide. Are we going to say then that it was still worth it for the laugh? Now, if we're talking about, remember that video a few months ago of the man who kicked an elderly woman in the face while she was sitting on the subway, and that video went out there, and I put it on the show, and that's the fact that the video went viral is part of the reason why this guy eventually was apprehended. Now, that's good public shaming. Okay, that's someone who's dangerous, who committed a violent crime, who did something that is so horrifically horrible that it just, the punishment fits the crime. So it should be public shaming, get this guy's face out there everywhere so everyone knows that this guy's an elderly abusing scumbag, and then put him in jail. I think that's totally, the punishment fits the crime there. But in this case, what's the crime is the guy was a jerk at a bagel shop. The punishment of massive public shaming, I don't think it fits.